I'm going to show you today how to set up your external CPAP circuit. Firstly, I'm going to go through the equipment which is required. You will get an external CPAP circuit from the intensive care unit, and you'll know it's the correct circuit because you're going to have a short grey tubing on it along with your long blue tubing, which is in two separate parts. This is one part and this is the second part. The end of the grey tubing will have your PEEP valve on it. We'll talk about that in a little while. You'll also have a HME in the bag. You will also have your tubing, which connects onto your mask, and the other end connects onto your manometer of the external CPAP machine. And this all comes in a small plastic bag, so it's quite important that you do make sure you do check that it's in the bag. You'll have your stickers. Your circuit has to be changed every 7 days, so this allows you to pop the date on for when it needs to be changed. You also have your humidifier, and we have a bag of water which you can get from the intensive care units as well, and that will be connected to your humidifier. In addition, separately, you will get a mask. So the mask is not in the original packaging, it's separate because it's a specific size. So you have small, medium and large, which is on the bottom of the mask, just along here. This is a vented mask, and you'll know it's vented because it's clear and it's got little porous holes here. And this is because your patient needs to be able to exhale and the air has to go somewhere because it's not going into the circuit, it's going to go into the environment. The straps will also be connected, and we'll show you how to connect them on in a little while as well. Lastly, you'll also need your set, which can be got from the general intensive care unit on the lower ground floor. And you will have humidifier wires, which are standard wires, which come and are connected to the humidifier machine, which is at the bottom of the external CPAP circuit. It's quite important to know that the yellow one is non-disposable, so that cannot go off for cleaning. It is cleaned back in the intensive care unit. But the long blue wire, which is connected also to the side of the humidifier, it does come back, but we send this off for cleaning. So it's quite important to identify that you don't dispose of these, you bring them back with the machine when you're bringing it back to the intensive care unit. And these are the basic parts of the equipment which is needed to set up your external CPAP. So we're now going to set up our external CPAP. So I've got gloves on just because we will be in our patient's environment, and it's quite important that you know hand hygiene and infection control. So it's always easier to connect up your humidifier. Hold down the blue front part and clip it in at the two sides so that you're sliding it in underneath. And it can be quite difficult. You do it nice and slowly and you'll hear a click. And that's it in. It's nice and secure. Very important because this gets very, very hot and you don't want to burn anybody or yourself with hot water, so it can't fall out. So that's very secure now. We'll also then take this off, and it exposes the two ports of the humidifier. At this point, you can also connect up your water. So you just take your sterile water out of its bag, like so. And similar to intravenous fluid, you pierce the bag. So you take it out just like this. Be very careful, this end is very sharp. Unravel and dispose. And you just pierce your bag like so. This would fill your chamber gravitationally. So you can hang it up here. And it all remains on the same piece of equipment, which is quite important for patient safety. So you can move this around for ease of use. Okay, so that will gravitationally fill this up. Very important, this is your humidification circuit. You can take your HME and you connect it to this port, air in it just here. Just like so. And it just sits in. Next we will get our tubing. So the short part of the tubing, we will connect our valve to this end here, and then we connect it to the top of the humidifier. So what you're performing and getting is really a closed humidified circuit. So our oxygen is going to come in here, down to our oxygen tubing, and we need to put our other end on here. So this is the blue end providing your humidified oxygen to your patient. So you just put it on nice and securely like so. And that's it, very simply done. And then you can just hang your tubing here for the moment. The next step is to connect up our heating wires of the humidifier. So you connect yellow to yellow and blue to blue. So you just click it in. It can be a little bit fiddly. There we go. And the 3-prong connects into the back of one of your blue tubings, and it sits in just like this. And make sure you have it well secured in, or it will alarm. And that can go back like that. So that's in there. The next one is to thread through our blue heating wire. And this is the wire which will be going along your circuit, which is going to your patient. So once again, you click it in. Now, just like this. The 2 prongs will go in through this little area here. And this will measure the temperature just of the humidifier. And you just click it in like so. Now, and then you'll hear a click, and that'll be quite secure. You then just feed your heating wires up to the top of your long tubing, which is going to be connecting to your patient. And you pop the end temperature monitoring probe into this port on your blue tubing, not here on your grey or white, here on your blue. And you just click it in like so. You need to make sure that this is quite secure, and be aware that if your humidifier does alarm, it may be because this area, this probe may be wet. Just be conscious of that. To keep your wires tidy and to prevent your patient slipping or tripping, make sure that you use the plastic connectors along your tubing to hold in your humidifier wire. And this will keep all your wires safely together and prevent any tangling or anything getting caught in it. Now, so that's that stage. The next step is to make sure that we connect up our circuit to our manometer. This is very important, so we are aware of how much PEEP our patient is really getting when they are using the external CPAP. So we have this rubber connector, which we get in our plastic bag, and the wider end you push up to the bottom of the manometer. So this ensures the connection the whole way through. And then you just untangle the tubing. And what happens is that when your patient's mask is connected onto their face, you will connect the hard plastic end onto one of the small ports at the front of the mask. So you connect it just like so. This will then measure your PEEP inside your mask as best as possible. The other end then will go on to the bottom of this rubber tubing. And it can be a bit tricky, but you just push it up and it will stay. So then when your PEEP is set, it will coordinate and measure it on your manometer so you know how much actual PEEP your patient is getting. After you've connected to your PEEP manometer, you then need to connect your mask to your tubing. So I'll show you how to do that now, and we'll demonstrate later how to apply it to the patient. So you take off your blue cap, and you connect it just like so. And always remember, it's a vented clear mask that you're connecting this circuit up to. And this is your complete assembly of your equipment for your external CPAP. The next step is that we're going to connect up our oxygen and turn on our oxygen and flow meter. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get access to our oxygen port. So to get our flow meter out, you just press in at the back. It can be quite hard, and you'll hear a click, and you take that out. Don't put your flow meter too far away. Always make sure you have it within reach of your bed space in case of need. There. So the next step, you connect your oxygen, which is coming from the back of the flow device that's connected to our external CPAP. So it's popping in here. There's our valve to turn it on, and it'll go through our circuit. So the first thing we'll do is connect it up. So you just click and make sure it's quite secure. Otherwise you won't be getting your oxygen flow. So give it a little pull, and if it doesn't come out, you know you're well connected. We will turn this on, so you hit the on button, and you'll need to calibrate it. This is on battery, it's not true power, so if it does not work, it may mean that the battery is gone and you'll need to return it to the intensive care unit. Otherwise you won't be able, and you won't know how much oxygen flow you're giving to your patient. So you need to calibrate this first to make sure you're giving accurate oxygen, and it has to be calibrated every time you switch it on and off. There are instructions, very small instructions at the very back if you do forget how to calibrate it, which you can read. It can be quite difficult to see it, it's just here. So what you do is that you calibrate it to room air. So I know it says 20.8 at the minute, but we will recalibrate it. So you take this part out, and you can just leave it hanging there. Keep your finger just on the arrow, and it will cal. So that's it. And then it will say 20.9. So you know that it is calibrated to room air. And you put it back in. The next step is to then turn on your oxygen. So it can be quite noisy, hence why you need to have your humidifier here. It helps dampen the noise out. So it's the valve at the back, which has a small little on-off on it. So it's off at the minute, and that's it on. Okay? So off and on. So now you're providing oxygen. There are two knobs which are on the side of the oxygen percentage monitor, one of which is a flow, which provides the amount of pressure and flow which you're providing your oxygen at, and that can go up to 60, and by changing that you just turn the flow meter, and you will see the little silver ball inside go either up or down. So I am bringing it down at the moment, and I want to bring it down to 20. So your flow will determine on your patient comfort as well, but when you're giving CPAP, we would recommend 40. So it'll hover just around here. The next one is your oxygen, and it's the exact same as your flow. You just twist it as necessary and monitor it on your screen. So you can either go up or down. And you continuously twist it to the appropriate oxygen which you want to provide to your patient. And that is how we connect and administer and ensure that we give the correct oxygen to our patient.